That dinner wasn't just a meal. It was the key that Truong's mother quietly prepared, hoping it could unlock the memories her son had lost. Lytieunu stepped into the kitchen, the steam from the hot soup rising and making her hands tremble. She only wanted to know if he was doing okay. She never imagined she would have to face him here in the warm kitchen that once belonged to the two of them. Then she heard Truong's footsteps behind her. She held her breath. Would he look at her like a complete stranger? Or would something inside him stir the moment he saw her face? If you've been following Truong and Lytieunus's journey, don't forget to like and subscribe so you won't miss what happens next. This dinner could be the start of a miracle, or the moment that breaks Lytieunus's heart all over again. That afternoon, the dirt road leading up to the small wooden house where Truong's mother lived was covered in a thin, honey-colored layer of sunlight. The wind from the hillside rustled through the palm leaves, whispering something she couldn't quite explain. Lytieunu stood at the gate, her fingers gripping the edge of her shirt, her heart beat loud enough for her to feel it. It had been days since she ran into Truong at the market. One hug, one tight squeeze, then that painful question. Who are you? It shattered everything she had held on to for months. But that hug, even if he didn't remember she felt it, something inside him was still there. Today, she decided to come. She needed to know how he was living. Was he okay? Did his head still hurt? Was he eating? Did he remember anything new? And more than anything, she just wanted to see him, even from far away. The wooden gate opened quietly. His mother was sitting on the porch, peeling beetle leaves. When she saw Lytieunu, she froze for a second, a mix of surprise and something deeper, almost like sympathy. Oh, you came to visit. Her voice, warm, a little shaky, as if she had something hard to say. Lytieunu bowed her head slightly, her voice low with emotion. Yes? I came to ask about Truong. We saw each other the other day, but he didn't recognize me. His mother set the basket aside, her eyes, studying the young girl trying so hard to stay calm. She knew more than anyone. She knew how Truong had looked at her that day. She knew he had stood frozen under the porch after Lytieunu walked away. And she knew these two belonged to each other, even if his mind had forgotten. Come inside, she said gently. Lytieunu stepped into the small kitchen. It was old and simple, but it felt warm, something she hadn't felt in months. The smell of braised fish and the crackle of burning wood made her chest tighten. You still love Truong, don't you? His mother asked directly. Lytieunu flinched. She lowered her head, hands gripping her dress, and whispered, Yes, I do. The older woman sighed, a sound filled with worry for her son and pity for the girl in front of her. Don't hide it from me. I saw the way you hugged him at the market. I understand. Lytieunu bit her lip. Tears fell silently, not from weakness, but from all the months of missing him and enduring everything alone. He really doesn't remember anything, does he? She asked. Not a thing, his mother said, shaking her head. The injury was bad. Honestly, I'm already thankful he survived. His memories might need time. Lytieunu placed a hand on her stomach. The baby kicked gently as if responding. Every time she thought of Truong, the baby seemed to calm down, like it knew this was its father. I'm just afraid. He'll never recognize me again, she said, her voice breaking. His mother looked at her for a long moment. She knew clearly this girl was the daughter-in-law Truong had loved, talked about, and fought to return to, even if he forgot his heart hadn't. You should stay here for a while, she said suddenly. Tieu looked up shocked. Stay! Here! Yes. Stay. He needs you. Even if he can't remember who you are, his heart does. Her voice was firm. If you're by his side, helping me take care of him, maybe his memory will return faster. Tieu's eyes welled up. She never expected to hear something like that. But what if he doesn't want? No. His mother cut her off. The other day, he watched you walk away for a long time. You didn't see it. He even dropped his knife and ran after you, but I called him back. Tears fell again, but this time warm, full of hope. I believe. You're the only key, she said softly. And I just want to see the two of you together again. I'm getting old. I don't ask for much. Tieu lowered her head. Thank you. Truly. After a quiet moment, his mother stood up. I'll call him down for dinner. Just sit here. Tieu clasped her hands together, her heart pounding. Every step his mother took outside made her chest tighten. Upstairs, she heard her call, Truong, come down for dinner. Footsteps. A chair moving. And then a tall figure with a faint scar on his temple appeared at the kitchen door. Truong stepped in. The moment his eyes met hers, they both froze. Tieu bit her lip, shaking. And Truong. His heart thudded so hard his hand clenched without him realizing. He didn't know who she was, but his body remembered. His heart remembered. For a split second, something flickered in his eyes, a strange ache, like she was someone he had lost long ago. His mother watched them, her throat tightening. See? I told you. You two belong with each other. And just like that, a new chapter began. The moment Truong appeared in the kitchen doorway, the whole room seemed to freeze. The light from the porch fell behind him, creating a faint glow around his shoulders, making him look both familiar and distant, like someone standing between memory and the present. Tieu sat there with her hands clenched on her knees. Her palms were sweaty, even though the room wasn't hot. The expression on her face, it was like layers of emotion she'd held in for months suddenly cracked open. And Truong. His eyes stiffened the second he saw her, as if something invisible pulled him toward the girl sitting in that small kitchen. He didn't understand why his heart was pounding so hard. His mind was still full of empty spaces, but when he saw the tears in her eyes, something inside him stung the kind of sting that comes from an old wound being touched. He could only force out two broken words. You are... But before he could finish, his mother gently stepped in, trying to keep both of them from falling into emotions too heavy, too fast. Come sit down and eat first. You can talk after. Her voice was soft but firm. Truong seemed startled, pulled out of whatever shock he was in, and slowly walked into the kitchen. He sat down on a bamboo chair across from Tieu. The distance between them was only a few feet, but for both of them it felt impossibly far. Tieu lowered her head, afraid that if she looked at him for one more second, she would break down. His mother placed a pot of braised fish on the table. Eat something, dear. I cooked something special today. Since we have a guest. The word guest hit Tieu hard. She wasn't a guest. She once belonged here in this house, in this man's arms. Now, she sat across from him like a stranger. Truong lifted his chopsticks, but his hand trembled slightly. He tried to act normal, but his eyes kept drifting toward her, the way her hand rested gently on her stomach. Her small, timid posture, even the faint scent in the air. All of it felt strangely familiar. He didn't understand it, and he couldn't remember anything. But his heart kept pounding anyway. His mother noticed their tension. She sat beside Tieu and gently placed a hand on hers. "Eat a little, sweetheart." That simple kindness grounded her. Tieu inhaled slowly and picked up a piece of fish, though her fingers shook. The whole meal passed in silence, only the sound of chopsticks tapping bowls, the wind brushing across the roof, and their quick, nervous heartbeats. When they finished eating, his mother finally spoke. "Truong, go behind the house and lay out the firewood for me." It wasn't a request. It was her way of giving them space. He got up, but before leaving, his eyes glanced at Tieu again. She lifted her head at that exact moment, and their eyes met. Both of them shivered, but he turned away. He didn't know what to do with this strange feeling. Tieu stayed in the kitchen trying to steady herself. His mother poured her a glass of water and asked gently, "Do you have something you want to tell me?" Her voice was warm, like she already knew the answer. Tieu tightened her grip on the glass. Then with a trembling voice, she asked, "Auntie, why is he like this? Why doesn't he remember me? Why does he look at me like I'm a stranger?" His mother didn't answer right away. She looked out toward the back of the house where Truong was laying out the wood, his silhouette long and heavy in the afternoon light. He was hurt badly. I thought I would lose him. Seeing him alive today, that's already more than I prayed for. Tieu stayed quiet. A tear fell into her glass, dissolving into a thin ripple. "But he will remember," his mother continued with certainty. Tieu looked up, eyes red. "How can you be so sure?" "Because when he looked at you, he wasn't the same. I've never seen that look before. It's like his heart remembers even if his mind doesn't." Those words pierced her pain but also soothed it. "I think you should stay here for a while," his mother said. "Stay close. Help me take care of him." Tieu froze. "Stay here." "Yes." She nodded. "With you around, maybe his memory will return sooner." Her heart tightened. The thought of being near him again made her chest tremble with hope, fear, longing, everything mixed together. What if he didn't want her here? What if he never remembered? What if she stayed and still lost him? But deep inside, she already knew her answer. I'll stay." Her voice was small but firm. His mother smiled softly and patted her hand. "I knew you would." Later, as the afternoon passed, Tieu helped his mother wash clothes at the well. Doing small, simple things like that made her feel strangely calm, like she had returned to a place she belonged. When the sun was about to set, his mother said, "Go call Truong in for dinner, dear." Her heart skipped. She walked toward the porch. Truong was stacking firewood in the yard. The sunset painted him in warm orange light, making him look gentle in a way that hurt to see. His hair was a little longer now, falling over his forehead until he pushed it back, a gesture she had seen hundreds of times. But now, it came with a painful distance. She stopped a few steps behind him. Truong, your mom says." "Dinner's ready." He turned around, and this time When their eyes met, it didn't pass quickly. It wasn't surprise. It wasn't confusion. It was deeper, much deeper, like a tiny spark of memory trying to make its way back. He stepped closer, his voice low and shaky. "What's your name?" The question cut through her like a blade. She swallowed hard, fighting tears. "My name is Tieu." He repeated it under his breath, trying the name. Tieu. He frowned. The name triggered something inside him, something he couldn't reach. "You know me?" he asked quietly. Her heart twisted. "Yes," she whispered. He stared at her for a long time, as if searching her face for pieces of a life he'd lost. And the longer he looked, the more his expression tightened, like each second hurt more than the last. "Every time I look at you," he said, pressing a hand to his temple. "My head hurts." The words made her knees go weak. Pain because of memories of her. Pain because of something that once mattered too much. She stepped closer, her voice trembling. "You don't have to remember right away. Don't force it. Don't hurt yourself. I just want you to be okay." Truong looked at her. For the first time, really looked. "You're someone important to me, aren't you?" She couldn't answer. Tears streamed down her hands. "Yes." She nodded softly, and in that exact moment, something inside him shifted. He didn't remember, but his heart recognized her, slowly, hesitantly. He lifted his hand and wiped a tear from her cheek. His fingers shook. Hers did too. She closed her eyes. A small gesture, but the first real sign that his memories were finding their way back. From the doorway, his mother watched them, one remembering, one forgotten. Yet their hearts still tied together. She smiled through teary eyes. Finally, the right people at the right time. And just like that, the journey to bring back Truong's memories and the journey to heal Tieunu's heart was only beginning. For a few seconds, neither of them moved. The world around them seemed to fade, the sound of birds settling into the trees, the rustle of the evening breeze, even the fading glow of the sunset. All of it blurred into the background as they stood there, connected by something that went deeper than memory. Truong slowly pulled his hand back, staring at his fingertips as if trying to understand why they were trembling. He didn't know her. He couldn't recall a single moment they had shared, but touching her felt right. Like something in him had been longing for this without knowing why. Tieu wiped the remaining tear with the back of her hand. She tried to smile, but her voice was barely above a whisper. "Thank you for not turning away." Truong swallowed hard, unsure of what to say. "I don't know who you are," he admitted, voice unsteady, "but when I look at you, it feels like I lost something I shouldn't have." Those words hit her straight in the heart. Before she could respond, his mother called from inside her voice, warm but carrying a hint of urgency. "Two of you come in before the food gets cold." Truong turned toward the house, but he hesitated, waiting for Tieu to walk beside him. It was small, almost instinctive, but she noticed, and it soothed something deep inside her. They stepped into the kitchen together. The dim light made the room feel smaller, more intimate. His mother pretended to busy herself with the dishes, but her eyes kept flicking toward them, hopeful and quietly emotional. Truong sat down first. When Tieu moved to sit farther away, he He gently gestured to the seat across from him, closer than before. "You can sit here," he said softly. She froze, surprised. Okay." The air felt different this time, not as suffocating, not as painful. There was still distance between them, but it wasn't the kind that pushed them apart. It was the kind that slowly, quietly, drew them in. After a few bites, Truong set his chopsticks down and looked at her again. "So, how did we meet?" he asked. The question made her chest tighten. She had waited so long for him to ask, but now that he did, she didn't know where to begin. She breathed in, steadying her voice. "We met a long time ago. You helped me when I didn't have anyone else. You were kind. You were patient. And you were..." Her voice cracked. "You were everything I ever leaned on." He stared at her, absorbing every word, every tremble. "And I," she continued softly, "I loved you very much." A heavy silence settled between them, not uncomfortable, but full of something rising to the surface. Truong placed a hand over his chest, as if trying to calm his heartbeat. "That feeling," he murmured, "it's still here. Even if the memories aren't." His mother quietly excused herself from the room, leaving them alone. Tieu looked at him, tears glowing in her eyes. "Then, that's enough for now." For the first time, Truong let out a slow, genuine breath, almost like relief. "Will you stay?" he asked. She nodded. "I'm not going anywhere." And just like that, the space between them began to close, not through memory, but through something even more powerful, the heart recognizing what the mind had forgotten.